I've been thinking a lot about the power of the environments in which you eat your food.
Oh, okay.
Because we have so much emphasis about our culture and like, oh, you got to eat this, don't eat that. And that seems to be what everybody thinks about with food. But I'm curious, especially since you've owned restaurants, helped restaurants, been in so many restaurants, I've actually come to this conclusion that just as nurturing of the food just as important as the food is the environment in which you are eating it. Yeah. So with that in mind, then I look at something like The Bear. Yeah. I look at, stories I've heard about the intensity of these restaurants where like the chefs are like going after them. And I'm thinking, wait, is that good for me to go and eat in that environment with that level, like, especially if there's a lot of bullying going on in the kitchen or a lot of chaos? Do I want to go and eat in that kind of environment? What do you think of that?
Well, there's a few things going on in that question, right? I mean, first of all, the environment in of itself in which we consume food, which, I mean, you're the doctor in the conversation, but certainly stressors affect how that food affects us.
Right.
So if you're in a relatively calm environment, an enjoyable environment versus one that is not calm and enjoyable, or even if you're just, wolfing down a bowl of whatever in front of the TV.
Right.
I presume, correct me if I'm wrong, that those things will affect us differently, how we deploy those nutrients, if we even get those nutrients.
Right.
And what else is going on in our body, the cortisol levels and all those sorts of things, right? So
so we have two nervous systems, one that speeds us up and one that slows us down. And the slow down one is called the parasympathetic, otherwise known as rest and digest. So rest and digest were meant to go together.
That makes sense.
So when I go to a nice restaurant where there is incredible service and a great ambiance and the food is great, like I can eat dessert, I can have an extra drink, I can do things in that environment and walk away, and it is simulated into my body because the environment itself was nurturing.
Makes sense.
And put me in this parasympathetic state.
So there's a big overarching word that we use in the business that talks about all this, and the big word is experience.
Yeah.
The experience of that restaurant. And it's a really interesting word, and it's an interesting way that that's utilized, because obviously we want, when I make a Spanish restaurant, when I make a Asian or Thai restaurant, there's an overarching experience that I want the guest to feel and experience. And that really is the kind of one of the guideposts for how that restaurant and that dining and all the things that fall under the word experience, how that person is made to feel in those four walls. Right. Sometimes, and there's some restaurants that intentionally try to make you uncomfortable or to challenge the guest and to make the guest question what's on the plate and what's going on. Those tend to be the more kind of Michelin-y, we can get into those later, but like the Michelin star places, the places that are actually trying to be almost like an edible art installation.
Right.
And that's maybe a whole different thing, where the food is a component of that experience in the way that an interactive art or play is the same thing, right?
Interesting.
But that being said, we come back to why do we go out to eat? Why? We can make food at home.
This is a really good question.
Why do we get out of our nice, comfortable home, get out of our nice, comfortable clothes, put on other clothes, get in our car, drive to a place, sit in somebody else's place, and order food that we may or may not know exactly what's in it or what's going on?
It's a really good question.
That's a great question.
Yeah, and sometimes we wait hours.
Yeah, just for the opportunity to sit in that chair and have that food.
Okay, so why do we do that?
Well, these are the motivating factors, I guess, of, whether it's being, the social experience, you're meeting your friends, it always comes back to that word experience.
Yeah.
What is the value proposition? What is the experience that my Spanish restaurant or my whatever, my Thai restaurant or my pizza restaurant, whatever, what is the thing that is getting that person that they say, I got to go there because.
Yeah.
And or in the case of the grand Michelin restaurants that may challenge the conventions of the average guest, I got to go there because.
Yes.
There are folks out there who they travel the world, and their goal, that what they want to do is they want to dine at every single 1, 2, and 3-star Michelin restaurant. They want to check those boxes and have those experiences and say, I was there. So why? I don't know that there's necessarily any one answer for that.
I have a thought on it.
I'd love to hear.
Because I think through the lens of neuroscience.
Yeah.
And I think there's a neurochemical reaction that happens in a great dining experience. And that's what pulls you off the couch and go to have
It's
that.
like another hit of the drug.
It's a hit of the drug. And the two drugs that you're getting are oxytocin and dopamine. So oxytocin, anytime you're bringing people together and gathering in connection, you're getting that oxytocin. Like we're getting oxytocin right now in a conversation. So when you go into that environment and there's people and there's smiles and there's like they, caring, like I'll tell you, one of the things I love the best when I go to a nice restaurant is when I get up to go to the bathroom and they folded my napkin.
They take care of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like that concept is so cool.
You feel valued. There's so much you feel from all that.
Yeah. So that's oxytocin. And then the food is giving you these dopamine hits, maybe a little bit of serotonin. Yeah. And if it's a brand new restaurant, dopamine loves novelty. So anytime you're in a novel situation, you're getting extra dopamine.
Oh, that's so interesting. I mean, we as a chef, I'm going to just say it, a lot of us roll our eyes about like the new Insta TikTok food trend. Yeah. Like, oh, I got to go get my rolled croissant with the cream filling, and like the one I love is like the cotton candy burrito. I'm not knocking the cotton candy burrito shops out there. God bless you, make money. Like there's things with all that, and you go, I don't know that I'm ever craving that, and I wonder. The business brain in me says, yeah, okay, someone's clearly wanting to go there and get that. I know a lot of folks will, now that makes sense what you just said, that the novelty aspect, they're getting something out of it. What that novelty is, yeah, maybe there's some FOMO going on, fear of missing out, or the look at me-ism that you get from Instagram and from being online. But if there truly is a dopamine hit of, I got this novel item and here it is.
Yep.
That explains a little bit.
Yeah. No, I really do think at restaurants like the ones you've created and cooked in, there is a neurochemical
Makes perfect sense.
Which is why you literally will get up off the couch and go and drive, get dressed, drive, and wait, because it's like that's what dopamine does. That's what oxytocin does, is it drives you to be attracted to it. So it's really interesting.
Mind-blowing.
Right? And with oxytocin, the fascinating part about that is that when oxytocin is high, cortisol goes down. Okay. So now you're taking a stressed out culture and you're giving them an opportunity to calm their cortisol down.
That makes sense.
And then if you calm cortisol, all of a sudden you become more insulin sensitive. So people are actually having a better metabolic experience if the environment is nurturing and fun. And you haven't even put the food in your mouth.
We always say the pineapple always tastes sweeter in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And there you go,
right. It's exactly that. It's exactly that. Yeah.